All right, well, a new study suggested torn ACL can heal itself without surgery, and it's already sparking debate within the medical community. In the study, 90% of 80 ruptured ACLs, so 90% of them, showed signs of healing and repair 3 months later. Now, these findings that surgery may not be needed for ACL injuries could potentially redefine future treatment and suggest that our knees may be more resilient than previously thought. So, joining us now for more insight, sports medicine physician Dr. Daniel Savarino. Dr. Savarino, thank you so much for your time. So let's start with the obvious question here. Can the ACL repair itself, and how long does it take? I mean, were these results a fluke, or is there really something here?
No, I think that there's definitely healing potential with the ACL. There's a large blood supply in the ACL, and what brings healing to any place is blood. The problem with ACL rupture is usually the two pieces are pretty far apart. So now with this new protocol, what they did is they keep the knee bent at 90 degrees, which kind of approximates the two pieces. And the closer you could get those two pieces together, the more likely they are to mend.
So is this, in your position, I mean, in your opinion, is this a better alternative to surgery?
I mean, it is. It's still very early on. It was only 80 people, and there's a lot more studies that need to be had. But certainly, if you can avoid surgery, that would always be great. I think the problem would be for like elite athletes, like professional athletes, is you have to wait 3 months to see if you're getting healing, and then if you're not, then you might need the surgery, and then that might postpone it more. But kind of as protocols come along, I think, yeah, it's certainly something that's very interesting.
So, doctor, do you think there's some benefit to letting the ligament heal itself versus, surgically putting it back together?
Yeah, listen, I think anytime you let the body do its thing, I think that's always the best way to go. I'm curious to see how this progresses, if they're going to add regenerative treatments like platelets or stem cells to this to try and augment that healing even faster. So I'm really curious to see where this goes in the next few years.
Well, you're in sports medicine, so I know you're dealing with a lot of athletes, particularly for professional athletes, of course. The goal is always to get back on the field, as soon as possible in whatever sport they're in. Do you see any potential impact on professional sports from this study specifically?
I don't think right away, because again, I think the elite athletes want to get back as fast as possible. And if you have to wait 3 or 6 months to see if there's healing and then maybe need that surgery where you might be out another year, I don't think that that's going to happen right away. But I think as time goes on, this might be the start of getting athletes back without surgery.
And we're talking about elite athletes, but this is an injury that is so devastating, whether you're an elite athlete, whether you're a high school athlete, a college athlete, it is just devastating. Is there anything in the works to try and prevent these ACL tears, or at least maybe speed up the healing process?
Yeah, I mean, prevention, there are certain kinds of braces, there, exercise protocols, all sorts of stuff to try and prevent it from happening in the first place, preseason training, just trying to get the leg as strong as possible, the muscles around the knee as strong as possible. And then, I'm sorry, what was the second part of the question?
I'm trying to think. I was thinking about my next question here. What was the second part? Is there anything to try to prevent it or speed up the process?
Speeding up the process, yeah. So, once you get that injury's done, or at this point, if you have the surgery, you can add things like your own blood platelets or stem cells to try and augment that healing process and get it going a little quicker.
All right, well, my last question for you, and I know I will remember this. We have seen players get dinged up, finish the game, and later we find out that they've actually torn their ACL. How often is it that someone may have this type of injury, just not know it? I mean, is that all adrenaline there? Is it that it's not fully torn? What's going on there?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty rare to have an acute ACL injury and not know it. Now, what might happen in some of those people, adrenaline might be a factor, but also they might have had like partial tears that kind of completed at that point. If you go from a regular ACL to a full rupture, I mean, typically you have trouble walking by yourself at that point. The knee blows up. You get a lot of what they call effusion in the knee, a lot of fluid in the knee. So it's pretty rare that if you tear it, that you don't know it. But
all right. So you think we're on the cusp of anything groundbreaking with this study?
Yeah, I mean, I think that this is definitely a step in the right direction. I think, listen, again, if you can avoid surgery and potential complications from surgery, that's always an amazing thing.
Yeah, and so many athletes love to hear this because it's certainly devastated many, many lives. All right. Dr. Savarino, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.